The death toll rises and the investigation is just getting started. New details tonight on the Table Rock Lake tragedy.
The Branson area community is coming together to support victims of that accident.
Plus, Columbia police take aim at crime in a different neighborhood.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Well, the search is over and the investigation is just beginning after a duck boat capsized at Table Rock Lake last night near Branson. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jordan Berger.
And I'm Olivia Gerling. Divers recovered the bodies of the 4 missing people this morning, bringing the death toll to 17. That's more than half of the 31 passengers on board. We have team coverage today with reporters who have been in Branson following the investigation. Let's begin with KOMU 8's Kevin Coe, who has the latest. Kevin.
Good evening, guys. Everyone accounted for, but not everything. That's because rescue divers were working all through last night up until this morning, a little bit before noon, finding every missing passenger from last night's tragedy. So last night at Table Rock Lake, a duck boat capsized here, and we actually do have video of that for you. But before we go to it right here, we must warn you, it's not easy to see. So right here in this video captured by someone right by the boat, you could see battling waves that workers here at the marina say they rarely see. That boat is still underwater, and engineers on site tell us it will stay that way until Monday, until federal agencies come in to help with the investigation. Governor Mike Parson also here earlier today saying the state is invested in finding out what exactly happened.
Everybody's got a green light. Whatever they need from my office and from state, we're going to provide, period. So whatever they need, it'll be on the way down here.
Agencies, like we said, are taking over. The Coast Guard and the NTSB will be stepping in. Live at Table Rock Lake, Kevin Coe, KOMU 8 News.
Thanks, Kevin. Minutes after the duck boat first took on water, a crew at a nearby marina took action. KOMU 8's Eric Graves is live at Table Rock State Park Marina with what the crew saw out on the water. Eric?
Table Rock. The co-owner of Table Rock State Park Marina told me his crew sprang into action as soon as they got the call the duck boat was struck. People headed out on the lake while the storm was still raging on. A crew member told me they handled 60-mile-per-hour winds and waves that would often come into the boat. The co-owner of the marina told me out here on Table Rock Lake they don't often see waves like they saw yesterday.
The lake, we were seeing big waves. I mean, 5 to 6 foot waves, which is not typical, for our lake. Very rarely do we see waves that large.
When the crews got out there on the lake, they expected to see a capsized boat and plenty of people in the water. They didn't see a boat at all, and they saw very few people in the water. Reporting live at Table Rock Lake, Eric Graves, KOMU 8 News.
Eric, thanks so much. The tragedy has shaken the Branson area community. KOMU 8's Emma Claybrook is live at the makeshift memorial members of the community created early this morning. Emma?
I'm live here at the Ride the Ducks facility where just about an hour ago, police arrived and actually started blocking off the memorial. They started taking off the flowers and mementos people left on the cars and actually towed a couple of them. There were 5 cars in the parking lot this morning, and now there are only 2 left. There are still people here paying their respects and laying flowers and mementos on the cars that are still here. I talked to one family today who was here on vacation and rode the duck boat just 24 hours before the tragic accident.
We felt compelled today before we left town to get flowers and leave on the cards of those that unfortunately didn't make it home.
I reached out to the manager of Ride the Ducks Branson. He told me I would have to go through the corporate offices to get a comment. He did echo Governor Parson on Facebook, though, asking friends and family to keep the families involved in the accident in their thoughts and prayers. Reporting live in Branson, Emma Claybrook, KOMU 8 News.
Our thoughts and prayers right now are with these family members that are here. Going to have to deal with this tragedy. We as a state will do everything within my powers to make sure that they all have the resources here they need to come to a conclusion on this incident.
Governor Mike Parson offered his support to the victims and their families today during a news conference. Governor Parson also visited Cox Health in Branson earlier today to see the survivors of the Ride the Ducks incident. Parson tweeted, "Please join Teresa and me by offering prayers and support for the victims and families affected by this tragic event." As of this afternoon, the hospital was treating 6 patients. The hospital says Branson has opened up City Hall for some of the families involved in the incident.
The company that owns the Branson Ride the Ducks franchise has responded to the accident. Ripley Entertainment released a statement early this morning. It said, quote, "We are deeply saddened by the tragic accident that occurred this evening at Ride the Ducks Branson. This incident has deeply affected all of us. We'll continue to do all we can to assist the families who were involved and the authorities as they continue with the search and rescue. The safety of our guests and our employees is our #1 priority. We will provide updates as we have additional confirmed information to share. Now, this is not the first time Ride the Ducks has dealt with fatal accidents. A 2016 article by the Philadelphia Inquirer discloses several fatal accidents with the national Ride the Ducks company dating back to 2010. 8 people have died in 3 different incidents since 2010.
Several politicians have shared their condolences. President Donald Trump tweeted, "My deepest sympathies to the family and friends of those involved in the terrible boat accident which just took place in Missouri. Such a tragedy, such a great loss. May God be with you all." And Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill wrote, "Tragedy here in Missouri this evening. Heavy hearts for the families of those who have died and are hurt. And as always, sincere thanks to the first responders."
Now, prior to yesterday's duck boat incident, Missouri hadn't seen a major boating accident in over 60 years. The Grand Glaze, a tourist vessel, capsized during a pop-up storm on the Lake of the Ozarks back in 1954, killing 6 passengers. To this day, there is at least one body that was never discovered after the accident. One Lake of the Ozarks retired U.S. Coast Guard captain studied the Grand Glaze case and says that investigation was too relaxed by today's standards. KMUH's Monica Harkins talked to that captain today to see what he thinks about the Branson incident.
Captain Meyer has over 20 years in the U.S. Coast Guard and over 15 years out on Lake of the Ozarks performing boat rescues for capsized boats. Now, he told me today that the boating incident that happened at Table Rock Lake could not have been the same with weather predictions that we have. Now, modern weather and technology sometimes can't be predictable as it is in actuality. Meyer says the Branson case, it wasn't about boating safety, it was about Mother Nature. He says in the aftermath of this, he reminds all boaters to always have life jackets or PDFs, personal flotation devices, on board.
People could have had PFDs on, I don't know, but that doesn't always guarantee. In a situation like that, doesn't guarantee anything, but it sure gives you a heck of a lot better chance.
Myers also told me from the footage he's seen of the duck boat incident yesterday that the captain of the boat did all that he could in that situation, and that was do his best to try to get the duck boat to shore. He says that's all he could do at that time. Live at Lake of the Ozarks, Monica Harkins, KMU8 News.
Monica, thank you for that report. Looking at our satellite and radar from yesterday, this storm had plenty of warning. It was moving through southwest Missouri, eventually tracking through Springfield and Branson. And I think it's important that we take a second to look back at the watches and warnings issued yesterday. A severe thunderstorm watch was issued at 11:20 a.m., lasting until 9 p.m. It was for all of southwest Missouri. A severe thunderstorm warning was issued at 6:32, lasting until 7:30 for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and torrential rain. That storm hit the Branson area around 7 o'clock, so there was almost 30 minutes of warning before this storm hit. So there was ample warning. This storm was not a surprise. Important factors to keep in mind as we continue to learn more about this.
All right, Matt, thanks so much. Coming up later in the show, safety in your neighborhood, how one neighborhood is getting more protection.